Yeah, my car is gonna be like literally just a rolling liquor cabinet on the way to Ohio cabinet.
On the way to
Ohio cabinet.
What's happening, everybody? My name is Charles Blades, and this is the Current Gaming Podcast. I am joined today by the NDF founder, Drew Scheffler. How's it going, buddy?
I have finally acquired video and audio functions.
Yes, it is
well, but I've done it.
It is a dream. I also have with me the magnanimous Aaron Weeks. How's it going?
That's me, and also NDF First Cadet.
First
Evidently.
Cadet, yeah, I put that.
I don't like that my rank is so low.
I mean, I don't really know
You're
how rank
co-founder.
works
I
there.
haven't been here for like a week, and I already am missing out on.
Oh,
the
you
memes.
missed the Nintendo Defense Force, man. They came
Oh,
out strong.
I see.
They came out
Nintendo
strong.
Defense Force.
Yes.
My rank is shockingly low.
Who you hear is Miss Clippet Cheyenne. I came up with that one. Do you like that one? Is that better?
I am not a part of that meme,
That meme's funny though.
but that's
What?
fine. Thanks.
Dude, we
Hey.
made it up, David. You and I made it up.
Clip it.
Yeah,
Oh, I
clip
hate
it,
you so
Cheyenne.
much. I'm
Pop
sorry.
it, twist it, pull it.
I-
All of my muscles are tensing
I've never
up.
heard you say it
At your
except for like
ignorance.
once. So
I understand.
And Stormy Daniels' second cousin, David Morgan. How's it going?
I don't know who that is.
She had an affair with the
doesn't
president.
matter.
We're talking about a lot of cool gaming news this week. We got some stuff about Fortnite. We're talking about the best-selling games of December. But first, there's a lot of cool things going on in France. So let's talk about Quantic Dream, right, guys?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, in the recent like outshoot, what's the word I'm looking for?
Boys will be boys.
Recent systemic
You can
Pro-
just call it the Me Too movement.
yeah, but I'm
'cause
trying to think of a
that's
better
what
way
it
to
is.
classify it.
That's
That
what
will
it
sound
is.
better.
Me also movement.
Yeah,
Me
He doesn't
also.
like to be that on.
Me as well.
yeah, whatever.
Me
that
as well.
that whole thing happening.
Yeah.
A bunch of people have, well, not a bunch of people. People have come forward
Myself and them
to the
too.
French paper. Who wants to talk about who wants to
I'll take
pronounce
it.
the French paper? Le Monde?
I'll take
Is
it.
that
I don't know
you say?
the how to
Oh,
pronounce.
that's what I was fucking asking. I know how to fucking do this.
No, I'll take it.
Nom de femme de mieux.
I'll take it.
Le
over.
Monde have
Just, like, Get rid of half of the syllables in your
have reached out to them and have talked about how basically Quantic Dream, the French studio that's run by David Cage, who have put out games like Heavy Rain, Beyond Two Souls, and are putting out Detroit later this year, maybe, I don't know, have detailed like basically sexist and racist jokes and constant like kind of harassment allegations that have been going around the studio the past few well, since it's been going on, I guess. And then basically in response, Cage and his other co-founder Guillermo Del Ferdemere.
that gay.
Fudemere.
Not gay. Fuck.
Basically, categorically, here, I'll read his full statement. It's like, we categorically deny all these allegations. The statement says, Quantic Dream has filed a complaint several months ago and further... Well, alright, they categorically deny. I am fucking this up.
Yeah,
David.
they deny
for
it.
Go for it, David.
Okay. So these French outlets, don't know anything about them. This could be.
They're fake
Sites-
news awards contenders.
This could be the Sun of France for all I know. Not gonna let that
Oh, this is in French.
cloud my vision. Hopefully, but the way.
Oh no! Oh no!
Huh? What happened?
I clicked on the Pikachu video.
Coffee
This
smells.
coffee smells so good.
So it's just
Anyways,
like, so in the middle of the podcast, it's like we're gonna get copyright strike with Nintendo.
I don't know. But basically, it's weird because these are all like were there any like specific instances? I mean, I guess that doesn't matter. It's not an issue of like the evidence or anything like that. It's the accusations are heavy. They're a big deal, and I'm all for cleaning out the shit under the sofa of the games industry. Getting all this out there in the dirty laundry. But the fact that Quantum Dream and David Cage and however the fuck you pronounce his name, Guillaume Dave from they outright denied all of this ever happened. They denied any of these allegations being
so did
true.
literally
I know. Well, I mean
every
that's not
other
necessarily true, right?
single person
Because-
that gets accused.
that's not even the case though, because Naughty Dog and a lot of other studios that get accused of this kind of behavior are like, oh, we'll conduct an internal investigation and update further in the future. This was like, this didn't happen.
They shut it down immediately.
Yeah, that is like
So how do you feel?
This article
what do
says
you feel
that
about that?
the translation had said something like pushing kisses on employees, and then what they really meant was like air kissing, which is
that's
a
like
normal,
it's a European
tradition for
greeting, right?
for European people. So I'm wondering if there was some kind of like mix up, and then English speaking people took it too far, but I don't really know.
So how do you like, what do you make of this statement because of that denial?
I think it is at very least overblown, at very most outright patently false. And the only reason I think that is because these were interviews allegedly conducted with people that worked in the studio, right, by these outlets.
Yeah.
It just like, I don't know, the fact that I'm gonna have to wait for one thing until all the translations are correct, because this is already like throwing red flags.
There's other stuff. I put this in there. This article, well, I guess it came out. Yeah, it came out 3 days ago. So I put this article in there forever ago. But whatever.
So like, oh well, maybe we were wrong. We didn't translate this right. So that's already kind of like, I don't want to be like it's right or it's wrong or it's true or it's false or anything, because this literally is just he said, she said, which is a dumb phrase, I know. But I want to see how this is handled by those who were involved in the alleged harassment and by the studio. Because the studio has outright denied it, but what I want to see now is more follow-ups from these outlets with more of the people who work there, and maybe with David Cage himself and with Quantic Dream higher-ups to kind of get to the bottom of it all. So I'm not as inclined to believe this as I would be with something like the James Franco thing, or the Naughty Dog stuff, or
the Kevin Spacey thing, the Harvey
Kevin.
Weinstein
I was searching
the Woody Allen
thing,
the Louis C.K. thing,
those I'm like, yes, that makes
the Aziz Ansari thing, the Dustin Hoffman thing,
okay, I see where you're going.
There's
with
a
this.
lot of times when I'm like, I'm not surprised at all. Like I could sense that this person, like, I don't know if you guys have that feeling about people where you're like, there's something a little off about this person.
Yeah, I've met Cody.
Something
so
like that comes up. Like, you know what? Now I get it.
No,
yeah.
But no, and the thing is, I don't even like David Cage. I think he's a pretentious piece of shit. So like, I have no reason to be like, oh no, this can't be true. Like, I totally like would be like, yeah, fuck him. But I just don't. I don't believe that this is a basis for action yet on the part of publishers or developers.
Aaron, where do you come down on this?
I think the biggest problem is that they shut it down so quickly. Like what David is saying, I think is accurate, but I feel like it makes it more suspicious that he was so quick.
I disagree. I disagree.
No, nothing happened. I promise. It's baseless. Like you could have at least. I feel like it would have been better, at least for the public image, to just say like, okay, you're right. These types of behaviors are not okay. We're going to investigate.
Yeah.
Even if you know that it's not true, to just let people know that you take these kinds of things seriously and you're willing to investigate, take the time you need to take to ensure that people are safe, people do feel like protected and cared about within your industry. I feel like that would have gone.
I think that's bullshit. So I think his argument of I work with Ellen Page was really dumb and like nonsense.
Yeah, that's absolutely
literally ridiculous. I have a black friend and everyone's been saying that. But
I have a female friend.
I don't think that shutting it down, like if somebody came to me and was like, hey, I heard you raped a girl, I'd be like, no, I didn't. Like
okay, but he could deny it and
still.
still.
To be fair,
like,
no one accused him of raping a girl.
So,
oh no, but I'm being
an
hyperbolic.
investigation.
I'm being hyperbolic. I wouldn't go, oh well, that might have happened. Let me think about it. And go,
You don't have to say it might have happened. You could say that didn't happen. I'm quite sure this is not true, but we will investigate. We want our employees to feel safe. You know what I mean? He didn't have to outright shut it down.
More, but I think that by saying it didn't happen at all, I think that that's like a confident response that you don't see from these kind of like big studios as much. Like Naughty Dog was like very softball, like, oh well, it might have happened, it might not have happened, we're gonna look into it. This is like, we know our workplace, we know this doesn't happen. And they might not know that, but like,
I feel like that just comes off as dismissive.
I disagree,
There's
but I
also
understand
this
what you're saying.
section that we didn't talk about right here. It says, he also stands accused of making dirty jokes and not doing enough to consider the opinions of female colleagues. Quantic Dream has a staff of around 180 people. Around 83% are male, apparently. So I can definitely understand how some women may be feeling in that kind of situation where, you know, guys feel that they can, like, joke with each other about, you know, like, sexual things and, like, maybe include the women thinking that it may be harmless. But, like,
Cheyenne, what do you know about that?
what do I know about
I was
that?
making fun of our friend
About-
group.
Well, yeah, you're right.
Yeah,
I
you're
am the only
20%.
the only one that kind of is around all the time. But
Well, I mean, that's the thing too, is that like these guys, you know, David Cage and all them, they might make these jokes and think that they're being completely harmless, and they're not. And that's
Right.
the other thing. The hindsight is like, you know, the things that you're doing today might not be cool. They might not fly tomorrow. So like they might be
they might not
completely
fly today
unaware
either, they just
of-
don't know it.
yeah, that's what I mean.
Yeah.
But they might not be aware that the things that they're doing are sexist
Well, yeah,
or racist.
that's kind of the part of the conversation I wanted to talk about, where
Yeah.
like they obviously don't think that they're sexually assaulting or sexually harassing people, but maybe there's some kind of like uncomfortableness from the female employees that like that the men aren't aware of, and maybe this would be a good time for them to kind of think on that.
Okay.
That's all I want
Drew,
to bring up.
do you have
That's
anything to
totally
say?
fair.
I mean, not really. Nothing will surprise me anymore. So I thought there was some good, and then Aziz got hit, and
It's all over.
now I just don't know about anything. I don't even trust
Well,
myself.
I think that's
I
an
don't-
important conversation
I
too.
don't trust myself. So
You don't
All
trust
right,
yourself.
I'll go the full other way, David. Nah, I'm not buying this game now because this is shit. He definitely did this. You don't. No one just full. Aaron's exactly right. You just don't fucking full on deny shit like that if it's not true. There is no way that it is not.
Yeah,
true.
there's no reason for you to
Yeah.
go that far in that direction unless like you
Right,
have
he
something
literally-
behind.
I know we brought it up, but he
Wrong.
literally did the black friend thing. Like, come on, bro.
He literally was like,
Okay, that
you
was
want to talk about homophobia? I work with Ellen Page.
That's such. I'm not gonna buy the game because it's not a fucking game. They make movies. First of all, Quantum Dream is a fucking joke. Second
I
of
have no
all,
interest in the game.
like
That's an entirely different argument. Whether or
I
not
know,
you're
I'm
gonna buy
not.
the game.
No,
not
I'm not
talking
buying
about
the game because of this.
Okay,
Because
we
of
need to
this.
talk about that when you guys are done because that's
Were
a
you gonna buy
totally
the
different.
game,
Yes.
and now you're not going to?
No, I'm still going to buy the game.
Okay. Well, we'll talk about that. In a
it
minute.
doesn't matter what people
That's
do.
a totally
I'll
different
buy
argument,
the
is what
whole
I'm saying, though, and we should have that as well.
Well, I mean,
So-
I mean, that's
Charles.
like the whole like art. Like, how can you love the art and not love the artist?
yeah, separate.
Yeah, that's a whole
Right.
thing.
Okay, but not necessarily in this case because there's so many people that put time and energy into this game
Right.
besides
That's
him.
kind of how
It's a-
I feel, especially about like films and stuff. Where
That's
like,
a dumb take, Charles. That's a.
No,
That's a
it's
fucking-
not.
But
It's
I-
like he's the figurehead of the studio.
understandable.
So you're gonna
Cool.
give up on this project that hundreds
there's-
of people put time and energy into because one person's a fucking dickhead.
Hundreds
What
of
you
people.
should do is let the higher ups take care of him based on these, and you should support the studio, not the person.
Hundreds of people work in the White House. Do I have to support the White House? But even though Donald Trump's the president, like
You don't
The White
fucking
House
still
still
have
has
a
lots
White
of people
House.
working.
You
Not
dumb
quite
fuck.
the
That's
same.
different
I mean,
from
you
our
don't have a
idea.
choice. So that's not an argument either.
Nah.
What I was gonna
what do
say
you mean I don't
is,
have a choice? I
you
can't.
pay taxes, motherfucker. They already get your money.
You don't
You
fucking
have
know,
to
bro.
Literally financially support them.
You don't have any option there. This is not like being
That's
like,
true.
oh, I'm not gonna.
I'm not
support
talking
the
about
White House
financially. I'm
because
saying
Republican.
like emotion, but
Well, you don't.
Yeah,
have
I mean,
to-
have a problem with this, but like, if you were gonna buy the game, this is no fucking reason. To,
This is
hey,
100%
of
why
the
I'm not buying this
167 people that work in that studio, go fuck yourselves. I'm not gonna give you any time.
no,
of day,
I'm telling Sony, yo, go fuck yourself for not dealing with this.
What
It's
if
not
they
fucking cool?
do though? Is what I'm saying.
Like,
Like
maybe I'll be back interested. You know what's gonna happen? Nothing.
I mean,
Probably.
debatable. But
If anything,
Why?
I'll bet where $20. Nothing happens with this
why do you think that denying something outright makes you guilty?
because, dude, like
I don't know that so much as the.
That's not what I'm
I
saying.
take a lot, and I was
his
like,
fucking thing, it makes him guilty.
Yeah.
his like his statement was
Coupled
ridiculous.
with like the
Yeah.
long running like standing of David Cage just being a cunt. Like
He is a cunt. I told you I don't like him at all.
Yeah.
Also-
after the kind of the sexual assault scene that people saw in.
He's the Christopher Nolan of
I'm a little
games.
bit-
no, Christopher Nolan makes good movies. He has
Christopher
like
Nolan's
5
a
good
fucking
movies
guy.
under his
Makes
belt.
okay
All right.
movies.
Heavy Rain is good.
Heavy Rain,
No.
eh.
It's not
It's
fair
really
to
not a
ourselves
fucking
here.
game. They're not games.
I mean, they are
They're
games.
less
That's a
games
dumb-
than Gone Home. Gone Home is more of a game than
No, Heavy Rain is
I
most
don't
certainly
like-
a game.
I don't like
Quantic
that.
Dreams has never made a good game.
I'm not
They've
saying
never made
you
a
good
game.
or not.
Heavy Rain is good.
Heavy Rain's not that great, really. To be
Heavy
fair.
Rain is fine.
Like,
Mhm.
I haven't
Beyond
finished
Two
it,
Souls
but
is
like,
fun to
I
Go
know
play.
what
play it
happens.
Making
again.
Fun of it.
It really
Sure.
isn't good. Isn't good. Like, you
Also,
gotta-
Beyond Two Souls is a bad game. So they've
But
made
it's
one
fun
game
That
that
I
was
will
like,
agree with.
knowing that it's a bad game.
and then they made another game that's just bad. So their studio kind of like, I don't know why people are even hyped for Detroit, but that's not really.
some
Because
people
Heavy
really
Rain
like
was
those kinds
good.
of games. Yeah, and Heavy Rain, like a lot of people really like that game, and they like that kind of experience.
Here's
with
the thing,
games.
though, is that games can have that kind of emotional clout and that kind of decision making that has consequences, and also be fun to play, like The Witcher 3, without just being like
Mass Effect
handholdy
Well, I
interactive
don't-
simulators.
I don't think that people who play Detroit are looking for the same things in something like The Witcher, because The
Detroit
Witcher has things like,
is-
combat. It's like a completely different kind of feel.
They make the second-person novels of video games, and those are trash.
Dude, those are great.
They
can
aren't
go fuck
always.
themselves.
I mean, the second person novels aren't great, but like,
No, exactly, and that's why their
but
games
like,
are fucking.
no, there's plenty of games
Like
in this
what?
genre that are great. Until
Walking
Dawn
Dead.
is
I
great.
agree.
and shit,
Walking
yeah.
Dead is great. Wolf Among Us is great.
And guess what? They make the worst ones.
I'm
so-
not saying they make great ones, but you're just shitting on this whole genre. This is a whole different
Yeah.
I
conversation.
am. I'm
This
just
is
being
a
a. I'm
completely
being a.
different
I'm
topic.
being a dumbass.
No, but
fuck.
this-
You're being a dickhole. that's
And
what
like
you're being.
Detroit was already like, it's a little easier for me to say I'm not gonna play the game now because I was already kind of on the fence about Detroit. Because I wasn't gonna play it, but I was like very like they're doing the very both sidisms, fucking like the black fucking like guy is he's a rebel activist. I don't know about all this, guys. Like it kind of, and it's very like I don't know, trashy stuff. What do
You want to talk
like
about
that, man?
homophobia? I work with Ellen Page, who fights for LGBT rights. Man, what a bad thing to say.
Like Ellen
Yeah.
Page is great. We're not saying
I've once
anything
been
about
around
her.
someone else who does these things. I don't
Like,
though.
are you
Let there be
actively
no
part of this, or are
confusion
you
here.
just friends with someone who is?
His response was dumb.
But the best one is I work with Jesse Williams, who's like he's an actor.
Yeah.
Obviously he gave a
He's in
speech
Grey's
at the
Anatomy.
he gave a speech at the Democratic National Convention that kind of put him on the map. He said, I work with Jesse Williams, who fights for civil rights in the USA. In another interview he did, like at E3, I think, of last year, somebody asked him, like, hey, how did you get in touch with Jesse Williams? He's like, oh, when I picked up Jesse Williams, he wasn't doing all the activism stuff yet. I was just excited to have somebody on my team like that. But now he's like actively using it, like he's doing his black friending him.
He's got his.
It's so
fun
it's,
little,
he's eating his cake
excuses.
and having it too.
That's-
Also, like worth noting, what all of these people worked on this game, and like, what could anyone stand to gain by this being by making this up? You know what I mean? By having this just releasing
Yeah, I
these
mean, that's
false
a good
allegations.
point. There's
That's-
no reason to lie
There
about
is-
it.
Yeah.
there
So
is
like, why? I
no
don't. I
reason.
can't imagine any scenario where somebody's like, I'm gonna do this and it's gonna be awesome.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, 'cause
There's
that
no
shit just
reason
doesn't
for
happen.
any woman or any man or any person of any gender to come out and be like, yeah, this person, I feel harassed or assaulted or whatever.
Yeah,
kind
there's
of feeling
no
that they
positive
have.
from that.
Like there is nothing that you gain from doing that.
Basically.
It's emotionally like
Taxing.
draining and
And then in situations like this, you have the entire company turning against you. Like it's
Right.
just there's no, in my opinion, no way that this is false.
Yeah, it's just and his statement.
Believe
We were
women.
talking about the Naughty Dog statement. The Naughty
I
Dog
like
statement's
those
not great either.
survivors.
Like,
Yeah, I
to be
didn't
fair.
think it was either.
It's
It was
better,
weird.
but no.
Yeah, the Naughty Dog statement was very much like, eh.
It was very like, please
It's
stop.
The most
pressing us.
non-committal bullshit. Like nobody
Yeah.
ever wants to take full credit, but they don't want to necessarily deny it either, unless you're Quantic Dream, and then you're just like, fuck it, I never do nothing bad.
It is a bold move. I respect that though. You're going down with the fire and flames. This
This
next
coffee
story,
smells so good.
this next story here is about the Nintendo Switch, or
Something
should I
much
say,
happier.
the Nintendo Switch cardboard peripherals. I don't know. It's so
Listen,
weird. So Nintendo
Labo.
Labo's a thing, guys.
it's cute.
Dude,
and it
Labo's
looks
awesome.
Like a lot
It's
of
not
fun.
for you. It's not for me. It's for children.
I'm not
It
saying
is,
it's
yeah.
not.
End
I
of
would
story.
imagine myself. I would love that.
All
as
right,
a
so
kid.
basically
Something
going
interactive.
down, what it is, Nintendo Labo, they announced on April 20th after like a quick tease that they were going to come out with something later. There's a bunch of different like cardboard based toys that are going to work with the Nintendo Switch in various different ways. Like there's a fishing rod, some RC cars, like a piano you can play. You can make like a robot, like Rock'em Sock'em Robot kind of looking thing. Yeah. So all right, yeah, I guess going around. Start with Drew. What do you think? Or Cheyenne.
It's very Nintendo. It's so like they like to do things out of the box. No pun intended.
Yeah.
But they
Hilarious.
like to kind of innovate, and I like the way this is going. It's like such a different way of like using like interactive things with their console, and
Yeah,
I
this is
think
cool as fuck.
it's very cool. I don't think it's that cool that it's $70 for some cardboard that works with your Switch, but
I mean, it's the game too,
you
but
know,
yeah.
like it's interactive and it's cool, and I really think especially for younger kids, like it would be a really cool way to interact with technology and to kind of, you know, be in that kind of. I think it's cool. It's a little bit silly that it's like a bunch of cardboard that you buy for $70, but
I would argue that the
I
price
also
point is
think
not bad. You're paying 60 for the game, 20 for the cardboard.
that's fine.
Like, that's not bad at all.
Drew.
No, I think it's cool.
Drew, you work with boxes a lot. Do you have any corrugated cardboard around that you can use for Nintendo Labo?
Yeah, I think any of the busted boxes that come through, I'll probably just start storing them in my apartment. So that I can build my own
Just be like
Nintendo
a pack
Labo
rat.
peripherals. But yeah. No, I think I agree with Cheyenne. It's neat. Again, yes, it is directed towards kids, but I would maybe even argue to say that I don't know how many Nintendo Switches are mainly being played by children. I think a lot of the games that they put out were geared towards people that have been with Nintendo for a while. And I mean, I'm not surprised to see something like this. Nintendo's always tried to do something gimmicky with something.
Yeah.
And granted, they're not batting 1,000 on that. You know, Wii U sucked, but like Wii Sports, which used the motion control, which was like first time kind of use of that, the best selling game there.
That's the best part about this, though, is that it's like
no,
the Switch is great on its
I'm
own.
not arguing that it's a bad thing. This is a good thing. I think that taking the risk is something that Nintendo's done with each console cycle. They've tried something new, and I mean, even if they put this out, what would be interesting to see is potentially other companies maybe even getting involved, or Nintendo first party working on more Nintendo oriented products. Like you could do like the Wii had Hyrule the Link's crossbow training. Granted, it wasn't good, but it was like first party. You're familiar with the character. It's Link. Make a sword, an interactive game with that, and you can just put them on the eShop. You know, $10 or something. Or well, I guess that wouldn't work because you'd have to make your own peripheral, like I was saying. But I mean, there's some possibilities there. I don't see anything wrong with it, and you've already had a successful launch. So, although we said last week we don't really know a whole lot what's coming towards this year, but like it was fun. Try something new. So
David,
I'm impressed with it.
What do you think, David?
Of Labo, I think it's cool. I think people who are complaining about the price need to consider the fact that it comes with the software, because if you've looked at like a Lego set in the last like 3 years, they cost like $80. I guess the real complaint would be that the cardboard might not be very sturdy and it might not last very long.
It's corrugated.
Yeah, so I mean,
that's a word I learned recently about from the
corrugated
Nintendo,
like most fucking cardboard, by the way.
The Nintendo Labo event. I didn't know what that
we'll have to see how it holds up over time, but
I'll let you
I think
know April 20th when I build the robot.
Funny.
I think it's cool. I think it's a good idea. I don't think it's for everybody, and I think the people bitching about it are just salty fanboys.
To be fair, I didn't see that many people bitching about it.
The only complaints I saw were the price point, and I would argue that the price point is awesome.
No, I think the price point's a little too high. At least the way it's like.
For what it is, I think it's great.
You get the sticker shock of it.
Like it's not like each one is $70.
Yeah, but like you still get the sticker shock of it that like fucks you up.
I don't understand how. To me, anyone that buys new video games would be like, oh fuck, $60 for the game, then 20 for all this like peripheral shit.
I know, but like I don't know. It's just still it's weird. Like I don't know. That's how sticker shock works. When you see something that's $70, it's just weird. I don't know.
But people fucking. But people
and I don't. You're right.
That much money in, but people drop. Though I'm just saying that argues about the price point, not us. It's because
like this shit's genius.
Nobody really fucking complained about
Skylanders
packs being $80 and fucking like Dimensions packs being $80.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right.
And if these peripherals were fucking plastic or anything else, the price point would have been $20, $30 higher.
Yeah. It reminds me of those like things that you put on top of your controller. Like
it's genius in that sense, is what I meant.
It's in no way genius. They made cardboard. It's cool, but like it's not.
It's
I don't know, dude. They found a way to sell fucking cardboard to people for video games. Like that's fucking genius in my opinion.
The marketing of it is genius, maybe, but the idea itself.
Yeah.
I love the idea. There's a Nintendo boardroom somewhere. Like, all right, we gotta innovate. What's the next gaming? Like, what are we gonna do? Somebody's like cardboard. Like, yes.
Yeah, like how the fuck do you get that past anybody?
It's real weird. This next
I feel
story
like building it and putting it together would be kind of fun. Also,
yeah,
like it is kind of like
Lego
Legos. It's just kind of like.
I would have loved this when I was a kid.
I want to say.
I played a lot of boxes
think
as a
that.
kid too.
Like I said, that I think a lot of the first year sales for Switch. I don't know how many people playing a Switch right now. Like I would be interested to see numbers of like ages. Because I would venture to say that it's more adults and people that have played Nintendo longer.
Yeah.
There's an attempt from Nintendo as well to bridge the gap. Video earlier today that from a YouTube personality, and he said that playing Mario Odyssey with his two daughters allowed his nostalgia and his Mario memories allowed that to be brought into Mario Odyssey and like merge the two and allow him to make memories with his daughters using the same characters that he's familiar with. So because I guarantee you there's no fucking kid building like some of these things with how intricate they looked.
Yeah,
they do look different.
They look like fucking IKEA tables.
Yeah, it needs to be a family event for sure.
Right. But I think it's they're kind of trying to, open this up because they have been known to be like family friendly, especially since the Wii, like kind of opening up this, thing to family experiences and to kids, and I think
that kind of speaks to the generational gap with the Switch too. Like it goes back to David's story. Like he bought his dad a Switch and it brought him back into video games. Like when we were kids,
Nintendo Labo,
even his niece was playing it. Like,
right.
Didn't know what the fuck was going on.
Your dad likes to build stuff, right?
Because when we were kids, the original like Super Mario World and all that shit was brand new to us, and now like we're this age, like some of us have kids of our own that are fucking coming into this new world, and it's just like it's like a generational tie.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Yep. This next story here is about Fortnite and Epic. Basically, Fortnite's a huge success. Everybody loves Fortnite. Fortnite's popping off.
Fortnite.
And because of that, Epic's other kind of game of service that came out 2 years ago. Well, it came out as still in early access from 2 years ago. Paragon appears to be, if not shutting down, at least thinning its margins. Basically, they put out a statement and said the team's time is split between immediate improvements of Fortnite and longer-term efforts, so there's less visible progress. And then second, a number of the Paragon team members have jumped onto Fortnite to help sustain the game as it has grown far larger than anything in Epic's past. And though Paragon has evolved, no iteration has yet achieved the magical combination of ingredients to make it a sustainable game. Over the next few weeks, we'll be figuring out how and if we can evolve Paragon to achieve growth and success. So yeah, it looks like Paragon situation. I don't know.
It makes sense. Fortnite is doing really well right now, especially since the last, the update that just happened. Like it, if Paragon's not doing as well, it would make sense for people to, work on Fortnite, where there's a lot more money and a lot bigger community.
Still sucks for the people that are hardcore Paragon fans, I think.
Sure.
Okay, yeah, sure. It sucks for the people that are hardcore Paragon fans. But
You're ready to shit on those motherfuckers, aren't you?
But it's good for us.
No, they can go and play another MOBA. And anyone that wants to get pissed off at Epic for changing the employees from devoting time to Paragon to Fortnite, I read an article, and I don't think we ever talked about it because it was probably in like one of the stints where I wasn't on. Is that Battle Royale was a mode? Granted, after PUBG came out, it was made by like 5 fucking people. It was like people, they're like, hey, we had this idea, and the Fortnite, like, we're not taking any time away from the PvE, but you guys do your thing.
Mm-hmm.
And like they came back in a week, and they're like, here's the game, and then it's better than the PvE.
Yeah, it's crazy how much like
better than anything else that Epic has put out. So why? And if you think that they're not making any money because it's free to play, oh no, David, you bought a $20 fucking suit, did you not? Did you buy the $20 suit?
No, Bobby bought the
No, it was Bobby.
Bobby bought the fucking $20 suit.
But we all basically bought the battle pass, which is like $10. So like imagine
Yeah.
all of the people out there who have bought, you know, all of the skins, all of the emotes,
Oh,
all
it's
of the,
insane.
you know,
And
battle passes.
and
Yeah, they're
Like,
making
making
plenty of
money
money
from
for it.
it.
I think that they should devote more people to it.
that's the craziest
Yeah.
thing is like I'm interested to see how the people that bought the, because originally like so the game is free to play if you want to play the battle royale mode, but if you want to play the save the world mode, that's gonna be free to play. But because the game is in early access, in order to play it in early access, you had to buy like a $30 founders pack or whatever is what it's called.
Yeah.
And I want to know how those people feel like, because basically, like this game for all intents and purposes, that shit is done. Like the PVE part of the game is done.
People are a
In my
little
opinion.
upset that they're, you know, that
I don't
the
know,
focus
I just
has
think it's
gone to
interesting.
the PvP like battle royale, but
Yeah.
Please, let's
this is
have
what's
the
making the
company
money. And
stop.
that's the good part.
Let's have them stop working on the money making aspect and go working on these shit games that aren't making you any money.
Yeah.
And,
I mean, I don't care how much money they
How
make.
many
That's not what I
fucking-
care about. I'm not.
Right.
Well,
I'm not,
that's,
I don't got
you know,
stock in
it-
that.
but in order
They're
to make
actually
more,
like-
in order to create more jobs for themselves and add more support for the game and bringing in new like.
I mean, I agree with you
voters
from
and
the sense
stuff,
that I only
you-
play the battle royale mode. That's all I really care about. But I'm
I've
just trying to look
played
at it from the other
Paragon.
point.
It's garbage.
You think the battle royale is garbage? What?
No, I've played
No.
Paragon.
Oh, you
Paragon
think
is
Paragon's
garbage.
garbage? Okay. Yeah,
I've played better MOBAs, and I'm not even. I'm not.
I don't
a
know
MOBA
about
fan,
the
but I've
like
played
go play
better
another MOBA argument though, just because like you could say the same thing about Fortnite, like go play PUBG.
Yeah, but then you wouldn't be playing as good of a game.
I think they're different enough. Like the ideas are extremely similar, and like they have a lot of the same like ideas.
Go play
but
Paladins. Am I
the
right?
feel of it is completely different. Like a lot of you guys who play PUBG, and you're like, it's really stressful, and it's more of like an intense kind of like experience. Whereas like Fortnite, you don't get as like stressed, or it's kind of like a fun thing to play with your friends or by yourself or whatever. It's
And it also runs
got a
well.
completely different feel. Yeah, it does run
That's
a lot
true.
better.
It's run a lot better.
Dude, Aaron, you gotta play it now. The update came out.
Fortnite?
Dude,
I
it's
want to,
coming-
yeah.
Yeah, dude.
I can tonight actually if you guys want to play after this.
Fuck.
Maybe.
We will.
As soon as this is fucking done, baby, we're getting that W.
Baby.
Mm.
Jesus.
Sammy.
Drew and I got one earlier at Copperworks, right?
Oh, nice.
That
I've
works.
been going
We gotta
to the
win.
Shifty Shafts a whole bunch, but in solo.
Oh, I haven't
We'll
seen
talk-
any of the new
people.
spots, dude. I'm
Yeah,
excited.
Dude, you're gonna have some.
Real
Holy
talk,
shit, the
Aaron.
whole left
Can
side
we,
of the
can we
map.
talk
Aaron.
about how good like
Their community.
they have been really listening to the community
Yeah.
for the battle royale?
Mhm.
Like we
especially,
shit on who wasn't here last week? Cheyenne wasn't here
I
last
wasn't
week.
here.
We shit on fucking Bungie hardcore for like, yo, bro, this shit sucks. Like you gotta
Yeah.
fucking fix your shit. It's like the reverse with them.
Yeah.
Like they're constantly on the Reddit.
It's-
They're constantly answering questions
Yeah,
on
like
Twitter.
I see them on the Reddit just replying to people and just
Yeah.
being like, "Yeah, we'll look into this." Like, and like people post bugs all the time, and so I think that's really helpful. Like the community for the Fortnite Battle Royale is just really, really great, and like even like someone suggested like Haunted Hills as like a new
Yeah, and they
location.
literally made that. Yeah.
And they literally named something that. So like it's been really cool to see like a developer really.
My favorite
listening
one
to the
was-
community.
Especially since this game is what it is because of the community.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
My favorite one was somebody on the Reddit posted like, "Hey, can we take scoped ARs out of
Yeah.
drops?" And they were just like, "Yep." And like the next
and they
update,
did
they're
it,
not
and they
in there.
changed the way that the
I was
scope
like, yeah, I was
looks,
like, great. Yep.
and like
The
Great.
yeah, it's and like you always see it. I'm like, this is the only game I've ever been like. The thing that I think fucks a lot of these companies is like they leave their audience either confused or like misled about stuff. And like I never like whenever Drew and I go on to play, or Cheyenne and I get on to play or whatever, and we get on, and then sometimes there'll be a queue, or sometimes the online servers don't work. We're like, what's going on? And we'll go on our phone, look on Twitter, Fortnite Twitter, and there's like literally never been a time where there wasn't a thing on Twitter that was like, hey, we understand something's going on, we're trying to fix it. Like it's
right.
never been
or
like
even the subreddit, which
Yeah.
isn't as like fast paced. They're just like,
Yeah.
hey,
No joke.
we're having
No
problems.
joke. When that new update went live, CJ stayed up, and I stayed up from taking a nap after I got home from work to play it. And we were in a queue, and it wasn't working. And he said, "Let me know if it works." So I tried one more time, and I got in. But like, you check the Twitter, and like they said, "Okay, the update's live. We understand that there's server issues. We're looking into it. Not sure how long it'll be." It took 45 minutes, and they fixed the whole server issue.
yeah, and like
Mhm.
just stuff like that.
For
It's
putting out a big update like that. That's
Right.
and like
Yeah,
they have
2
so
gigabytes.
that's what the-
if you look back into fucking like PUBG, like that game is like incomprehensibly flooded by cheaters right now. Like it's like insane how many
That's true.
Mhm.
and there was an exploit in Fortnite, and then it literally got taken out in a
They
day.
got rid of it. Yeah.
Like and it's like they're
I
not
got killed by that exploit though. I'm not happy about
not
that.
happy about it, but like still, yeah,
Well,
it's
it's gone now.
crazy. And The best part about that exploit is like it made it so easy to actually win the game. Like PUBG, if you like do like shitty fucking like what's the word I'm looking for? Where aimbots and stuff. Like
Wall hacking.
Yeah, like you can still get killed like in that game, but like in the Fortnite one, you just couldn't get killed like because you were under the world. So like if anybody did it, they won the game, so they can just look back and like be like, oh, you were a piece of shit. We can ban you.
Yeah.
Kind of situation. Yeah. That's that story. This next story is about the top 10 best-selling games of December on all platforms, or top 20 actually. I'll just go through this list really quick. Is there any new games around here? Xenoblade Chronicles 2 at number 16. That's a big one. I mean, not a big one, but like that's a new game. It's a newish game. It's weird. Number 10, GTA 5. Number 9, Zelda. That's with no digital sales. Number 8, Assassin's Creed. Number 7, Jesus Christ. Number 7, PUBG. This is notable because, as we all know, PUBG is selling like hotcakes. This only includes the Xbox One sales, and this is also the first time it's ever been on MPD because like they hadn't been including the Steam sales ever. Number 6, Madden. Number 5, Kart. Number 4, NBA 2K. Number 3, Super Mario. Number 2, Star Wars. Still kicking. Why?
Interesting.
Number 1, Call of Duty World War II. And whatever month, David, right?
Whatever month this, yeah, I mean, nothing really surprising, I guess.
PUBG, I think, is the biggest one.
Yeah, I guess. This is such a boring NPD because there's been big new releases
Yeah,
that
nothing
we want
comes
to
out
see
in
climb the
December.
charts.
Yeah, there was nothing new in December. Really.
It's all been pretty predictable stuff,
Yeah.
so not surprised.
Yeah, not that much to talk about here. And this last story, Cheyenne, you want to do this last story?
Yeah, I'll just make it kind of quick.
I mean, you don't have to make it quick. You know, just you.
No, I mean, because you guys aren't, as interested in Overwatch as I am.
Yeah.
So the Overwatch League has been kind of a big thing now. Everybody's watching all of their favorite teams, but there isn't a single female player on any of the teams, which is a little alarming, I guess. Ashley O wrote a really long kind of think piece
Who's
on,
Ashley O?
She's one of the writers for Polygon. I just really
okay,
like her.
okay, my bad.
She's also on the Polygon podcast, and I just love her and Simone. But so in this article, she kind of talks about the rationale that a lot of the teams and like people that were pros kind of why women aren't in the league and like aren't in pro teams. One of the ones is just that if women wanted to compete, no one would stop them. But I follow girl gamers on Reddit. They have their own subreddit where they kind of talk about issues like this. And specifically, there's this one user called Trigger Rimfire who said that she's part of like a pro Discord for Overwatch. And she meets all of the requirements to be a pro, but something about the kind of like the higher ups there and the mods, like they don't like her as a person, and they kind of have like been gatekeeping her, and she hasn't been able to be in any of the teams. So there's kind of like a disconnect between what people are saying about like women being pros and what actual like players like are wanting to get from this. So I just find it kind of like, I don't know. It bothers me that there's not a single woman, because Overwatch has like kind of, they've been talking about how it's such a diverse game, like you have all these players, and it's just really weird to see like there are plenty of women who are up there like in the top 500 in the EU, in North America, and all around the world that are doing really well, but they aren't in these teams. So I just think it's weird that they're like, well, we don't really want them to be in co-ed like living spaces because men and women, that would just be too weird. So there's a lot of reasons. Have you experienced
that, Aaron? It's weird when you're around women.
It's weird.
Yeah.
What are you getting at, right?
I don't know, man. I'm just asking questions. I'm just asking questions.
But that was one of the things. It was like they need to have like which is true. You need to have good communication and good like.
Yeah, but a lot of the other teams, like there's people
teams.
like there's a team with like people from Russia and South Korea and Ethiopia and the United States on the team. Like it's not the end of the world.
Yeah, right. Like, and then there's people like one of the things is like we don't want to have like the token female, so we don't just want to have one female, so we're just gonna have none.
That's very good.
We don't want it to seem like a PR stunt, so we're just gonna exclude them.
David, what do you think about all this?
I think it's dumb. I don't think there's any reason for it. There's nothing.
It's really.
There's
silly.
it's yeah, it's silly. I think
I just
a lot
wanted
of
to bring it
esports
up.
scenes
We
don't
you know,
have representation for
like
like
of all
this
the-
happens, and then girls don't play the game he's like competitively, and then people go, why aren't there any female
Yeah.
players? And then it's just a vicious cycle. So yeah, there's no reason for it.
Cool. You have a favorite team, Cheyenne? Are you watching this? Do you care about this?
No, I don't give a fuck about esports. That's
I
the
like, that was a legitimate question. Like you fucking
I
sat
know.
here and talked
No,
about
I mean
Fortnite.
I bought the Soul outfit for Diva partly because it looks good, but also
I
because
really thought you
it's,
were gonna
like,
say I bought a soul,
Korea.
like a soul jersey, and you're gonna like frame it and put it
I-
on your wall. Or something.
Yeah, no. I don't know.
Who you rooting
I
for,
think
Drew?
part of the thing is that a lot of the men that are on the teams like XQC are kind of shitty people, and they were worried that they didn't want these women to be on it.
Well, you
because of-
see, Cheyenne XQC has worked with Ellen Page, so like he can't. Like, she's worked with him with other
Honestly.
things.
Yeah.
Drew, are you a big Los Angeles Gladiators fan or Florida Mayhem? Drew.
Drew,
London Spitfire.
What can I do for you?
I
London,
like the Excelsior colors. That's about
New York
it.
Excelsior.
hear
That's
me?
a fucking fire name for a team, to be fair.
Mm-hmm.
Shanghai
that-
Dragons, David. You a big fan?
The,
I-
the
no,
fucking
I don't watch
skins are
esports.
so
I'm making
ugly.
fun of all
Neither
these
do
teams.
I, but
I'm
I
making fun of them.
understand the need for representation.
This is very.
That was my whole
esports is
spiel.
fun.
Sorry I took so long.
No, you're fine.
I care about women.
You're fine. That brings us to the quick hits where we're talking about stuff. Graphics cards cost too much because people are mining
Thanks,
Bitcoin, right,
Bitcoin.
David? Anybody bought
Uh,
Bitcoin here?
no, that's stupid.
I'm gonna put $1,000 into Bitcoin. I think.
Fuck off.
Why? I'll make like $2,000 and it'll be fine.
No, they just lost a whole bunch of.
Not that one, like Bitcoin, not all the other cryptocurrencies. I'm gonna put $1,000 into fucking
Bitcoin is stupid,
cryptocurrency.
and it will crash even harder.
Aaron, if you tell me to do it, I'll do it right now.
Do it.
All right, sick. Stardew Valley devs are working on a multiplayer mode for their game, which is fun. Cheyenne, I'm sure you're excited about that.
I'm extremely excited about that. I love Stardew Valley more than anything.
Dragon Ball Z Fighters Online was a mess for the beta. David, you tried to play
I
it.
tried like 5 times, and I was like, oh,
Could you
fuck
play it offline or was it just online?
No, there was no offline mode. It was
Okay,
just
cool.
failed to connect to
Good.
network.
I guess you got a good test of that. Battle Right got a new hero. David, you still playing that? Aaron, you playing that? Shane, you playing it? No.
I'm playing it.
They got a new hero. You excited? You look like a magician.
Is he out?
Xander guy.
Xander.
Xander from Buffy?
Lander.
No, he's like a magician dude. I don't know his name.
Okay.
No, I've been playing it, but I haven't seen it.
Sony is
I love that game.
adding they're sending out emails for beta tests for the new firmware update. It's gonna be a big one, I assume. Aaron, what do we want?
I honestly wasn't listening. What'd you say?
Cool.
I'm sorry.
High energy.
5 new Bloodborne enemies got discovered, David. That's
Well,
cool.
no, I want something. Hold
Alright, what do
on.
you
I
want,
want
Cheyenne?
to be able to delete more than one friend at a time, and when I do delete one friend, I don't want to have to go all the way back to the top of my friends list and have to go all the way down to where I want to delete friends.
Aaron,
You
is that a
don't know
problem for you? You got a lot of friends on there.
Got a lot of
You know
friends.
the quick fix
I mean-
for that is, Cheyenne?
What?
Stop having so many PlayStation friends, man.
It's because of Overwatch. I'm in a community and I added a bunch of people
She
that I
added
never
the
play with
Shanghai
anymore, so
Dragons.
I want to
and
delete them.
They're trying to
Right.
play with their man. Do you have any new things you want on the PSN, Aaron?
Not anything that really affects me. I mean, the change your name thing would be cool, obviously, but
That's what I was trying to get you to
Nothing.
say earlier. I was like, "What do you want?" And then I was gonna have you say change your names. I was gonna, when do we want it?
yeah, I
And
wasn't
go
listening
now.
when you were
And then we
speaking,
just
so
gonna
I didn't
keep
know that's what
going,
you
and
asked.
You really fucked up my flow on this whole
Yeah.
segment. 5 new Bloodborne enemies got discovered, and they put them in the game, David.
I heard Dave, so I'm assuming you're
Alright,
talking
cool.
to me.
Tomb Raider got
Cut
a
out, motherfucker!
You
What?
did.
Tomb Raider got a
like,
new
this-
movie
this
trailer.
could cut out real bad. I guess.
Who cares?
Did you see it?
No.
It looked cool.
Too long.
What kind of movie trailer?
Tomb Raider.
Tomb Raider.
Oh, that's gonna suck bad.
It's got
What's
Alicia
her face
Vikander in it,
from
dude.
Ex Machina.
Who cares?
And what is
Ooh,
this
hi,
cool
Pete.
story about why? Because I wrote that. I'm
Yeah,
an idiot.
you did write that. I wrote the crunch shit.
Yeah, Neil Druckmann. Yeah, Neil
It was-
Druckmann. I thought it was Bruce Staley for a second. Neil Druckmann.
It was Bruce.
Was it? No, it wasn't. Who am
I think you put ND for Naughty
Oh
Dog.
yeah, okay. Hold on.
Yeah, Bruce Straley. I only know this because David was watching kind of.
Okay,
Funny
I'm an
Business,
idiot.
And they talked about
All right,
it.
Bruce
also.
Straley. He was on Kotaku's Split Screen podcast, and they talked about how he got burned out by working on Uncharted 4.
Yeah.
Because
Understandable.
crunch
Have
sucks.
a nice day.
Yes, that is all the news for the week. Pete's here. Pete's ready to talk about what games
Pete
you've been
is
playing.
so cute.
Pete, what games you been playing?
Where's Milo?
He says, I've been playing Fuck Up the Christmas Tree. I climbed up in it and knocked it over.
Why you got a Christmas tree still up?
Because I'm fucking lazy,
Yeah.
dude.
It
It was
is.
done January 2nd.
Yeah, no, you're late. You're late on that one.
Did we?
Nah, dude, Christmas is always great.
You still got your Christmas tree up, Drew?
I mean, I can't hear much of anything.
Do you still got your Christmas tree up?
Christmas tree? No, my Christmas tree's down.
All right, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Left me, and now I live by myself.
Aaron, what have you been
Christmas tree
playing?
down.
I've been playing Dishonored Death of the Outsider, but we're going to talk about that more, I think, next week, right?
Yeah.
When I finished
Early-
it, so we can actually
Early
kind of.
impressions, yes or no? Pro or con?
Yes or no?
Yes, it's very, very good.
Cool. You like
And
you like that the new way Blink works? It's like infinitely better.
I do actually, and I want to talk about that, like the reason why more, like when we actually talk about it. But yeah, actually, I really like the new powers. Fun game, good stuff.
Cool. Yeah, we'll talk about it. If any of you guys want to play it, and me and Aaron will do a spoiler
I
cast.
haven't.
You have 1 week to
Dishonored
buy it
2,
and play it now,
So
starting right now.
we'll see.
David, what have you been playing?
I have been playing Monolith. I think I've talked about it once before.
Yeah, we have a Let's Play on the channel.
Really?
Do we?
Yeah, it's not yours.
Is it
Well,
Drew's?
yeah,
Yeah.
it's probably true.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah, I got him that because he won the contest
Yeah.
for whatever. Yeah, it's a great game. They've updated
won
a lot.
one.
They've added a shit of content and weapons and bosses and post game stuff. Playing another secret game that I can't talk about, but I will talk next time on the podcast. I think a lot of people are going to be pretty excited about it. So that's been taking up a lot of my time, but I've been playing some other things.
I'm pretty sure you could talk about the fact that you've been playing it.
I don't think I can.
I don't know.
I've seen
I-
multiple people tweet about the fact that they've been playing it. so
I am
think
not
you
going to
can.
go on the record
Okay,
saying that.
whatever. I've been playing Lost Fear. I'm gonna talk about that. I ain't gonna do your I played it for like 2 hours. It's fun. The combat's really cool.
I'm gonna tell on you.
The combat's really cool, Drew. I think you'll like
That's
it.
gonna get you.
The story. There's already one character I fucking hate. He's fucking Ryuji. Or no, was Ryuji in Persona 5?
Yes.
Yep.
Okay, yeah. He's
Ryuji's cool.
Ryuji's
Fuck you.
Great.
Ryuji
Yeah,
sucks.
Ryuji's fun.
dick. And he
I wish I could
looks-
date him.
What was I saying? Oh, but the real fucking reason for this segment to exist is for Cheyenne, Drew, and I to talk about this new Fortnite update.
Fortnite.
How are we liking it?
I love it. There's
Yeah.
so many places that I love. I love Snobby Shores. I love Shifty Shaft. Tilted Towers is fun if you just want to die immediately.
I
I
want to
love
win
the
at
new
Tilted Tower so bad.
biomes. Yeah.
Drew,
I
where?
don't. If we drop as a team, I think it's easy. Putting it solo, fucking impossible.
Yeah, it's impossible to do it solo. The first Drew, so Drew and I talked about it. We stayed up. We stayed up. He got up. It dropped at 8 o'clock, and we played it for like 2 hours. And literally, our first drop, everyone dropped at Tilted Towers, and we stayed alive for a long time. And literally, by the time the first circle started closing, there was only 27 people left, which is like an absurd amount. Like
Oh my god.
normally, there's like
yeah.
50 people still left, so like everybody had just dropped there and died.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's really fun. A lot of new places, a lot more vertical now. That Drew talked about. A lot of the cities are like, really building heavy, and like even Shifty Shaft, which isn't building heavy, like has a bunch of different layers inside it.
Yeah.
A lot less open spaces. So like you don't spot people. I don't feel like as much.
Yeah.
Like from like across the map, and then don't do anything. Usually, when you spot people, you engage with them a little more. But yeah, Drew, what have you been thinking about it? Drew, Fortnite opinions. No.
Oh no, I can't hear him.
Can you not talk? Oh, he's gone. Drew.
No.
Here,
I
gonna
tried
type-
to type it to
Yeah.
him because I knew he couldn't hear anything.
It's only a matter of time till my phone dies, too. Just a heads up.
Drew Fortnite opinions
I
What's
can't
that?
hear him. He's
I just
fucking
put-
MIA.
Oh, is he talking? Oh no.
Done.
Here.
Done with it.
Bye.
Done with it.
Drew's done with it.
I said, Drew, Fortnite opinions. We can't hear you.
It's
Phantom.
my man.
Oh, he's gone. Did he leave?
Yeah,
He left his apartment, dude. He's just
gone.
out.
I think he's going over to your house. Oh,
Oh,
he's back?
Drew, just drive over to my house. We'll finish it here, dude.
Iron.
Hey, we can hear you, Drew.
Hello.
No, he's gone.
Oh, there it goes.
No, we can't hear you. It's over. Technical difficulties have destroyed Fortnite.
Would've been the first time.
He's saying 2C. We got 2 wins, 2 chicken dinners.
Yeah.
Right.
Fortnite. Fucking cool.
Fingers is what I saw.
Goal.
Goal. Oh, he's excited. They added a new city which has an indoor soccer stadium, has goal
Oh, the
celebrations. That's what he's
soccer.
saying. He's a really big fan of that.
Yeah, me too.
Is there anything else you'd like to add, Drew?
One moment, please.
Okay.
I'm gonna do some research.
You seem.
And here's the Switch.
Oh, he's been playing Super Meat Boy. He beat Super Meat Boy on Switch.
But nice.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he had fun with that.
That's
He
not
played it on
Fortnite.
mute.
Good job.
Keep you
Yeah,
happy.
what the fuck does that have to do with Fortnite?
He
Well,
doesn't
we're the
know
what we've been
we're
playing. I
talking.
forgot that he played Super Meat Boy. He didn't write it down.
That's sweet. David beat End is Nigh finally after getting really mad at it.
I beat it on Steam.
I know, but you beat it on the Switch also.
It took me 2
Oh, I heard
tries. I
those
was
claps.
just extra.
Drew, I could hear you clapping.
Has you been fucking with us the whole time?
I'm very confused about the
No, I
mic
think
situation.
sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't.
No. no
No.
no.
I beat the end is nigh. I
Can you
should have
not hear me
mentioned.
on this thing?
Oh,
I
there
could
you are.
actually do that.
Yeah.
Here's what I'm doing. I'm just muting Drew. Drew, you're getting muted so you don't cut in and out. It's over.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right, David, what's going on?
Yeah. That's working.
I can't hear you, Drew, at all.
I can't.
Yes.
Yep.
All right, I gotta unmute him now.
All right, if it's one.
Wait, what?
What's going on?
I don't
This is
know.
great content.
If it's not one problem, it's the other, dude.
All right, Drew, we're gonna have to say goodbye to you, Drew.
So Drew, just come over, dude. I'm telling you, it'll be fine.
Did it just
Sorry,
slow
I
down and
have to
speed up for
pee
you guys?
so bad.
All right, David. You beat N is 9. That's cool.
He
Game
did.
of
It's a good
card.
game.
He got real mad at it.
It's a good game.
Yeah.
It's got some bullshit though.
We also started a Divinity 2 campaign. It's hard. I suck. The end.
The end.
It's good. It's a good game.
All right, that's it. I thought maybe we could start doing at the end of that segment to be like, what are we planning on playing on? What are we planning on playing
This
this
whole
week?
thing's gone to shit. So.
But yeah, we'll start doing that next week. We'll do
Okay.
that. There goes Drew.
What a
Drew's gone.
terrible show.
Oh, he's back.
Jesus Christ! It fell off the fucking rails at the
What a
end.
terrible time.
Whatever. It's
All right,
It
you
started
go-
out so good,
having a
too.
good
Your
time.
phone's gonna die. We're gonna go play Fortnite, right, Aaron?
I didn't hear you. What?
We're gonna go. We're gonna play Fortnite. I'm turning on my PlayStation 4 right now.
All right, I'm gonna do that.
All right, cool. We had fun. My name is Charles Blaze. You can find me on Twitter at Charles Dula. Drew Scheffler, he's on Twitter at Trophy Pops. He's bailing. He's out.
Bye.
David or Aaron, where can people find you?
Aaron M. Weeks.
Aaron M. Weeks. You tweeted once. You had a good tweet. It got a bunch of likes, I think.
It was like all like furries and shit.
It
though,
was very
dude.
weird that it did. I thought it was really weird it happened.
Yeah, it was strange.
Dude, also there's this game that came out in this meeting called Full Metal Furies. I totally thought it was Full Metal Fury.
Yeah, that was an unfortunate
Full
title.
Metal Furry.
I've been wanting to play that. I forgot that came.
Cheyenne, where can people find you?
Flowers.
And David.
What the fuck?
My guy Dave.
All right, cool. We'll talk to you guys next week. Hopefully, Drew will be fixed. He's back.
Yeah, we're gonna
He's
fix him.
got a
We're gonna get him
sleeveless
fixed.
shirt on. He's putting his hat on. He's ready. He's got mom's spaghetti. He's ready to go. All right.
I'm sad that WoW took so long to update because I would have been playing it longer.
Oh fuck.
You on WoW?
I was trying to. but it
Quit
was
playing
updated.
WoW during this
No, we're
podcast.
gonna play Fortnite.
Oh, I hate you
so-
people.
Anyway.
You fucking annoyed me, so I was like, I'm just gonna play
How did
WoW.
I annoy you? Goodbye.
You